we are. Good morning, Creative Mornings. We are actually starting 2 minutes behind because we're so plug and play here at the Goethe Institute that I actually get to mingle in the mornings. I'm always like running around, but this is a great space for us to be in. So I apologize for starting us a little bit late, but it's nice to actually get to chat a little bit. Okay, so are we rolling? Okay, good. Videos are working. Awesome. Here we go. So good morning, Creative Mornings. I am Kaylee. I am the host of the DC chapter. You don't have to woo for that. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our Creative Mornings on Create/Thriving Through Change. I'll explain that in a second. Here at the Goethe Institute. Okay, so a little getting to know you in the audience to start. How is the sound? Am I being picked up? Okay, cool. All right, raise your hand if this is your first Creative Mornings in DC. Raise them high. Woo! Welcome. We are so thrilled to have you here. Okay, raise your hand if you are the friend that brought a newbie to Creative Mornings this morning. Yes! You all get gold stars. Wonderful. Okay. Raise your hand if you have been with our chapter for a year. 2 years. 3 years. 4 years, 5 years. I'm gonna jump 8 years. Since 2013 when we started. Woo! Yes. So our chapter has been around since 2013, and we continue to go strong. So welcome newbies, welcome longtime members. Love to have you here. Okay, so what are we doing here for the newbies? What are we doing? What is Creative Mornings? Creative Mornings is a global chapter-based membership around the world for creatives. There is a lovely full-page manifesto on the website that I strongly encourage you to go and read. But our main focus, our tagline, our core belief is, can anybody say it with me? Everyone is creative, everyone is welcome. We're gonna workshop that. Next month, we're all gonna do it. Everyone is creative, everyone is welcome. And I like to say that when we start, because we really do have creatives in this room and in our membership, like the spectrum of creativity. We've had chefs up here, we've had artists, we've had comedians, you name it. Everyone is creative, everyone is welcome, and I hope that you really feel that while you're here. So Creative Mornings around the world. This month, May, we are all gathering around. Okay, so just stick with me here, okay? We are gathering around, technically, the theme for May is Create. It was chosen in collaboration with our global partner, Adobe, and this illustration is from Anna Grigorovici. I hope I said that right, close to right. However, for our May gathering, what we are here to do, our theme is going to explore thriving through change. So, a little backstory. Global headquarters, they give us the themes a year in advance, so we can start to plan speakers really, really early. Originally, the theme this month was thriving through change, and we booked Susan, who we'll hear from very soon, around that theme. And then this happened, and Adobe was like, well, how about Create? And we're like, yeah, let's do it. And I am not somebody that asks a speaker to change their theme a month in advance. So we are all creative. We are all welcome. We know what creativity is. It's why we're here. But we're also going to hear specifically about thriving through change and how that has impacted Susan's journey. So, are we all thoroughly confused? Yes. All right. Moving forward. As I said, Creative Mornings is a global community. This is our map. We are in 252 chapters around the world, 70 countries. We have 20,000 plus attendees per month, and we continue to grow. And how do we grow? Because bring a friend, make a friend. Who made a friend today? Who talked to somebody that they didn't already know when they came in? See? That's the magic. That's what we're here for. That is the magic. Okay, so continue to bring a friend, continue to make a friend. It's what we're all about. And if the creativity strikes you even more deeply, visit the website, do the field trips. These are virtual field trips. This was launched in the pandemic. We all remember this life, being on Zoom. It's still kind of our lives, but the virtual field trips continue to be a place where you can connect with creatives around the world, around all different kinds of topics, themes, and doing all different kinds of things. Like there have been being in the studio with a potter while they're throwing on their wheel and they're just like talking about their process. There have been workshops around creative writing. Just check out the website. It is expansive and creative. They are always free, and they happen throughout the month. Raise your hand, actually, if you have participated in a virtual field trip. Look at us! This is why we're one of the favorite chapters. We really are. That is awesome. Okay. Those that raised your hand that you did a virtual field trip, just shout out a theme, what the context of that was. Anybody? Somebody be brave. Huh? Collage making. Cool. Journaling. Neurodoodling. Awesome. Okay. You guys are part of the sales pitch. Awesome. The sales pitch for these free log-on experiences. Yeah. So it really is great. Highly encourage you to do so. And then, of course, we are the global sponsor, global partner for Creative Mornings, is Adobe. They have made, they continue to make what we do possible. Their partnership, their sponsorship has helped to open 5 new chapters around the world, I think is what the number is. So that's incredible. That's amazing. Does everybody know what Adobe is and what they do? Does anybody not know Adobe? That's what I thought. Yeah. Room full of creatives. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this logo. Creative suite and all of those things. This is really interesting. So I'm going to actually read this one so I can get it accurate. So release day. Release day is May 29th. It's written this way because around the world, this is how they rate the months in days, and also probably at the Goethe Institute too, because you guys are German. Release day is when we all finally share that special thing we've been working on. So you can add your creative project of whatever it may be to the gallery at creativemornings.com/release day and post it on Instagram with the hashtag release day 2026. So this is a really fun campaign about getting past the creative block, getting past the writer's block, the painter's block, whatever you're experiencing, getting past that, and also getting past the reason I left studio art, which was critique, getting past that fear of putting yourself out there. So Creative Mornings members from around the world on this day are all just going to share our creative moment in a moment of joy and celebrating our creativity. Raise your hand if this sounds like something You're brave enough to try. Woo! Proud of our chapter. Okay, I'm looking forward to checking out the hashtag on this day. And Adobe has one more thing to offer us. Adobe's 99U conference is streaming free on June 4th. Can everybody, I'm blocking it, but if you want to come around and get the QR code, go ahead. It's a full day of conversations about navigating change, building creative resilience, and staying inspired. Creative Mornings' own Tina Roth-Eisenberg, who's our founder, will be speaking. And then you can scan the QR code here for more details. And it'll be in the newsletter and all of the spaces. Okay, and now we turn to our moment of gratitude. I love this part of the day with Creative Mornings every time we gather, because I am so thankful for the volunteer team that makes this happen. So I'm a volunteer. I don't get paid. All of these beautiful faces here don't get paid. Okay, all of us are doing this out of the love in our hearts for our community, keeping us together, keeping us going strong since 2013, one of the longest standing chapters outside of New York. Raise your hand if your face is on the wall right now. Yes. Yes, these are our volunteers. This is our team. These are the magicians that make this magic happen. Shahir, please stand up. If you would like to be a face on the wall, go and see Shahir. We have our email down here. Shahir is our volunteer coordinator. We would love to have you join us. Again, cannot stress this enough, you will not get paid. But we will enjoy having you. You can join our huddles and our planning. Huh? You get paid in joy. You get paid. Oh, yeah. You get paid in joy. Yes. Thank you, Dea volunteers. All right. Okay, so more gratitude. Charlestown AV provides our videography in kind. They're actually not with us today because Chris broke his foot. Yeah, hopefully he'll be back with us next month. Wishing him a speedy recovery. But Charlestown AV is a boutique audiovisual and media provider producing empowering creative events and captivating media. Raise your hand if you've ever viewed one of our talks on our website, our recorded talks. The reason you got to do that is because of Charlestown AV. So we are super, super grateful for them. And who enjoys being caffeinated on a Friday morning? Woo! Every single hand. Soho House is our coffee provider for this year, our coffee partner for this year. So with their generosity, we're able to continue to provide free coffee for our mingling at the beginning of our program. Soho House is a club for creatives. They provide a home for their members to come together and belong wherever they are in the world. So you can check out their website, check out their membership. There is a membership here in DC as well as all around the world. And then not last and not least, but the last thanks I have for my slides here. Thank you to the Goethe Institute of DC. Everybody, big thanks. Goethe Institute is our venue partner for this year, hosting us for about half of our gatherings. We will be here again next month. And I'd like to bring up Sarah from their cultural programs to say a little bit about the organization.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you. I'm an intern at the Cultural Programs part of the Goethe Institute. Oh, is this working better? Okay, perfect. Did you hear me? I'm Sarah, for anyone who didn't hear me. So welcome to Creative Mornings, DC. Welcome to the Goethe Institute. Due to our commitment to memory culture, I just want to acknowledge something for the beginning. I acknowledge the Nacotchtank, Anacostan, and Piscataway peoples as original stewards of this land, as well as thriving members of our community today. I would also like to acknowledge the enslaved people whose labor was stolen as a way of building our current landscape. I acknowledge and honor that we can gather here, in part also because of the history of this land. So after acknowledging this, I want to give some quick remarks about the Goethe Institute, what we're doing. We're a German cultural institute promoting German culture and language abroad, and also we are fostering transatlantic dialogue about the most pressing, concerning issues, questions of today. And this is also why we're very excited to host you guys here today, to have Creative Mornings and to be able to listen to Susan's presentation, learning from you today, this morning. So thank you for that. So before moving things along, I just wanted to just tell you a few things that are going to be happening at the Institute, some events that are coming up that you are very much free to join. So on Thursday, May 28th, we're going to have Rose Jaffe here, an artist. We're going to have an art exhibition that you can definitely come and join. Also, we're going to be part of the 10 countries who are participating in the Euro-Asia Schwartz Festival. This is going to be a full week of in-person screening, discussions. We're going to be co-hosting an event with the Japanese embassy, so you're also more than free to join. We're going to be screening some shorts there. That's going to be Tuesday, June 9th. And finally, since the World Cup is around the corner, even though Germany and the U.S. are not in the same group, we are also welcoming you to join our watch parties and to cheer on the Germany team. Not sure if anyone's interested in that, but we are going to be partnering with pitchers at DuPont and Atlas at Anacostia for the Germany games. We're going to provide some Germany swag items, so come along. For any events that we are hosting, you can definitely check our website or Eventbrite and RSVP. We would love to see you there. And now enjoy the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and now the real, oh, that's much better. We probably didn't catch any of that from earlier. That's okay. The real reason that you are here today, some creative inspiration. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker on Thriving Through Change. Susan Lefler is, Lefler, is an artist and printmaker who left her stable, responsible job in brand strategy to fully dedicate herself to her craft. And if that isn't impressive enough, she is also currently learning Luxembourgish, the language of Luxembourg, having discovered family lineage in the country of 692,000 people. And for comparison, the population of DC is 702,000 people. So, without further ado, Susan.
All right, we're going to lower this, so bear with me. How's that? We good? Great. Thank you all for being here. My name is Susan Lefler. That was a gorgeous introduction. I did leave my full-time job to be an artist and a printmaker. I'm really honored to be here speaking to this room of lovely individuals on the topic today of thriving through change. I'm also very happy that you guys kept the topic because I'm a chronic planner. And when I was told about this topic months ago, I started writing a whole thing. So right when I got the email saying the topic was change, I sent an email off very quickly to Hannah being like, hey, about that. So thank you for honoring the topic that I had planned. Speaking in such a setting and being invited to speak in such a capacity is really humbling. I was asked to speak today because of a monumental change I made in my life. And if I'm honest, it's a little disorienting being up here. Public speaking is not something that comes naturally to me, but I'm really buoyed by the amazing atmosphere of this crowd. So thank you for that wonderful, positive environment you're providing. My life has gone through a lot of change in the last 2 years, and while I don't know that I feel like I'm thriving, I'm definitely much happier. I'd love to share a little bit of my story with you all in the hopes that it inspires some change in and for you. I've always been artistic, but it took some changes in my life for me to find my way to accepting and owning the title of artist. Turns out, like most things, it was more of a mental adjustment than anything else. As a child, I was in an atmosphere where academics and my education were at the forefront. I went to a competitive prep school and I did well. Not the top student, but I did well and thrived in a supportive learning environment. I went to a great college, I majored in sociology, and I minored in studio art. While academics certainly enriched me and are still a big part of me, art was always my thing. Who else here has art as their thing? I figured. And gosh, how I loved having a thing. It was mine. While other kids were excelling in BC calculus, not me, not even AP calculus, just regular calc, thriving in AP US history, pursuing internships in finance or the like, I was taking an independent study in high school with my art teacher, just me and him, and being a camp counselor at a local arts camp. But that wasn't unusual for me. I was always tinkering, crafting, pursuing something artistic on the side, whether it was shadowing a local watercolor artist, making clay figurines of my toothbrush and toothpaste, beading friendship bracelets, or teaching myself to sew or do needlepoint. Though, throughout it all, I never really considered myself an artist, just artistic, crafty, good at drawing. As a kid, I never knew what to say when asked what I wanted to do when I grew up. Heck, my sociology thesis in college was all about that topic, the question of how young women saw their futures. I don't know if I ever truly answered that question, because in the back of my head, I think a very small, timid voice always defaulted to artist. It was what I was good at, and it's what I liked doing. But I don't recall ever speaking that out loud. Probably because I never really knew that to be possible, so I never allowed myself to admit it. I don't think I knew it could be a real job. Not a real job, at least, not the way one could become a doctor, a lawyer, a fireman, a teacher. It wasn't something that was accessible, or even if it wasn't something I ever really considered seriously as a path for myself. My mom has told a couple of stories about my childhood that have always stuck. First, in preschool, I used to paint at the easel a lot in the classroom. You know the easel I'm talking about, the one that has those 3 paint buckets for the primary colors, and that paper that you can like rip off at the top. So in preschool, I used to paint at that easel a lot, I guess. This is like an early memory, one of those that's like really crystallized. I remember at a certain point, I would stop. I would stop when I was painting and actually take a step back to look at my work as a 4-year-old to get perspective. I guess it was innate, baked in me, that artist process. For what it's worth, I think that this is something that my teacher also remarked to my mom about. I guess it was like a thing I would do. So, sorry, at the easel. I'm going to show you some pictures. I was a pretty prolific preschooler. Here's some of my artwork on the wall. This was pretty usual in my household. It's me, my brother, my grandpa, and my dad. Art was always on display in our house. This is me and my best friend James from growing up. Like I said, the 3 colors, 3 paint buckets, evidence that I was a really prolific young artist. A few years later, I was probably 7 or 8. I went to a summer day camp that focused on art. One counselor pulled my mom aside at the end of the session and really encouraged me to keep doing art, or for her to keep me doing art. I guess she was really emphatic because it really stuck with her. She really took it to heart, my mom, and ever after, she made sure it was a really central part of my life. Even if she herself wasn't particularly artistic, I'm so thankful that she did. We had many dates at our local pottery painting store. She found countless workshops and art classes for me to do. We went to museums a lot, and it always encouraged my craft. And our cupboards and walls were always covered in my and my brother's art. The mask I made in pottery in middle school, permanently displayed in our living room. Was I embarrassed? Yeah, absolutely. But much to my protests, it stayed, along with the 3D collage painting of my breakfast that hung in my parents' bedroom. The painted plates we pulled out on special occasions, the soap dishes, and so many more that were dabbled into my daily life. Be honest with yourself. When hearing the topic for this talk, I'll be honest, I felt uncertain about the term thriving, as I mentioned. It almost felt a little boastful. Who am I to say that I'm thriving? Instead, let's say I've made some changes in my life to bring art into the forefront. No longer the side hobby, I decided to bring art front and center in my life. I'm a happier human for having made these changes in how I've prioritized art in my life. And that's going to be the focus of today. Hopefully not boastful, just really, really happy. And I feel really lucky to get to make art be my main thing. In thinking about this talk today, I've structured loose stories into sections that have made sense to me in reflecting on my journey to now doing art full time. None of these adages are shocking or even revelatory, but that's kind of the point. Anyone can do this. Anyone can make their own change towards their own passions. So first up, be honest with yourself. You can only be happy when you're pursuing what you want. Not what others want for you, but what you want for yourself. Okay, I have a funny story. Funny only in retrospect, truly deeply embarrassing when I think about it now. When I was 3 years into a previous job, a very corporate one, my manager, whom I considered a mentor and whom I had a great professional relationship with, asked me in my annual review, "Susan, where do you see yourself in 5 years?" She was corporate, very by the book. We followed the manager to employee guided questionnaire to the T. So I knew this question was coming, or at least I should have, but I was really caught off guard. What did I want to do? Perhaps foolishly, I told her I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure that I wanted to do a corporate job. I wasn't sure I wanted to stay at the company. I maybe wanted to do something more local with marketing. Maybe work for a nonprofit, maybe do marketing for a local municipality down the road. I might have been feeling like extra remote that day or that week, but I said it. No matter how you feel, I would not advise you to tell your boss. The person who decides if you get a raise, that you're not sure you want to advance in your career. Well, lesson learned, I didn't get the raise that year. I was doing really well, yeah, but I let it slip to her, and maybe to myself, that I didn't see myself in her role in 5 years. And that, in retrospect, was a pretty revelatory moment for me. Thankfully, the conversation seemed to have gotten swept under the rug. She and I had a great personal relationship, so I don't think that colored her vision of me too much. I still did good work. And I did advance after some time. I stayed there for about another 5 years, but eventually I left that job, probably a little too late. I created my own change when I realized it wasn't going to happen any other way. You see, that same corporate company, a few years later, after that conversation, offered sabbaticals for employees in good standing who had tenure at the company. I jumped at the opportunity and told my boss I was interested in taking some time off to explore art. She knew that I did art on the side always, so it wasn't an unusual conversation to have. My boss said yes. I was delighted. We got it cleared with her boss, and being the planner that I am, I got it cleared a full year in advance. And I immediately got to planning. Any frustratingly long day was soothed with nights of planning and dreaming of days where I could decide my own schedule. With 6 months off of sabbatical, I was going to sketch, I was going to carve, I was going to print, I was going to take workshops, rinse and repeat. I was going to try selling my work. I'd come off of small wins selling my prints at local holiday markets, and I felt an ember, an inkling that I could do it, and I wanted to try more of it. Let me pause to tell you a little bit about printmaking and why I love it, and why I think it became my art form of choice after dabbling in so many art forms over the years. There's quite a few steps involved, each different, each tactile in lovely ways. More so than other mediums I've worked in, I delight in what each stage offers, and then I can choose to spend my days in different parts of the process depending on my mood. Moreover, when I'm printing or working on a print, I lose myself. That anxious, spinning, planning part of my brain gets quieter. I don't know if any of you all experience that in doing your art practice or in something else, but once you find that, you kind of need to keep it. So first, the sketching. I get to grab ideas that I have floating around, weave them together until something tangible forms. I get to translate that idea, that sketch, that fabric sample, that iPhone photo, that memory into a drawing I'm pleased with. I'll pause there because that in and of itself is wonderful. Taking inklings of ideas, collecting them, letting them sit until they become something fully formed, that's truly amazing. Second, transferring that sketch to a block. I take that idea or that sketch or that trace and draw it directly onto a flat surface. A piece of linoleum, a piece of wood, sometimes a plate of metal. Once transferred, I get to carve. Carving itself is magical. Once my lines are down, I get to spend time carving into the surface of the material, transforming that flat plane into something that holds texture and lines. What I love about this part is that I have the shape and the direction already planned. Now I get to improvise some, almost akin to coloring in a coloring book. You've got the outlines, the plan, you know where you're going to go, but you can make everything up in the middle. I can do cross hatches, make deep cuts, make skinny cuts, all in the name of revealing positive or negative space. I can and do spend hours doing this. This is a very large block I got to do when I quit my job. Then comes the printing. There's a beauty and pain in this step of the process. You get to see your finished piece. It's kind of the reveal. It can also be incredibly frustrating, though. You've spent so much time drawing and carving. You get really used to how the image looks in this one dimension. When you print it, you've made a big stamp. You're printing it in reverse. It takes your brain some time to get used to how it looks in the other direction. And it doesn't always turn out like I'd imagined. But such is the life of an artist and a printmaker. There's so much that can go wrong. But there's also so much that can go right, and unexpectedly right sometimes. Sometimes the brain gets so used to seeing things one way that it takes a moment to step back and look at how it looks in reverse. Then you get to print some more. You make an addition. This means I can make multiples of my work, and it's one of the reasons why I love printmaking. I think it's democratizing. I can sell my artwork at prices that I think are reasonable because I can make multiples of them. I have the opportunity to make editions of any size I want. So all that work of sketching and carving means I can have a large output on the other end. That's not something I've been able to replicate in any other medium, that I get to make 30 original pieces of art from the same piece of original work that I initially made. I think that's incredible. Okay, I'll pause. That was the tangent side of why I love printmaking. And getting back to my plans for sabbatical, hopefully that taste can help you understand why I was utterly and devastatingly crushed when I found out that my plans for sabbatical were abruptly curtailed. Yeah, thank you. So 1 month before I was supposed to take off, I went to my boss to submit the formal HR paperwork and such. This was a Tuesday. My boss quickly put a calendar invite on my calendar for Friday afternoon. Not morning, afternoon. With the subject line of checking in sabbatical. I know. It was a long week. I knew it was going to be bad news, and it was a pretty torturous week. It's horrible to anticipate bad news and not to be able to do anything about it. Friday comes, the video meeting opens, and she's quick to let me know that the sabbatical was no longer possible. Our team was too busy. Our team was too small. We couldn't justify it. I was too integral to the project we were in the midst of. All true. In fact, it was very true. But it was crushing, absolutely crushing. I think we can all relate to that feeling of being burnt out, especially in this day and age. Okay, now imagine that feeling, but know that you have a beautiful, golden, sparkly light at the end of the tunnel. That light is what keeps you going for months. It's all you talk about with friends and family. It's your guiding light, and in one 10-minute meeting, mere weeks before you were about to achieve that bright, sparkly light, it's taken away with no forewarning. I guess technically those 4 days of premonition, but no real forewarning. Oh my goodness, I don't know how I kept it together during the rest of that meeting. I was so wrapped up in that job that while my reaction was devastation, I didn't rail against her. I fumed on the inside, though. I could feel the tears brimming in my eyes and my voice quaking. I'm sad to admit that it was my husband who told me I needed to quit. I'm happy that this man is in my corner. Looking back, though, I'm sad that I couldn't see it for myself. It wasn't something I'd considered before he said it. Someone else needed to point it out to me, but he was so right. I had to try doing art full time. I had to take the 6 months off that I had initially planned. And once I'd said it out loud, it clicked. We had been saving differently. We had been spending differently. I had this whole thing mapped out, and there's no way I could go back to the job the next Monday or whatever it was, as though that hadn't happened. I needed that 6 months that I had mentally and emotionally been planning for. So I quit, which was really uncharacteristic for me. I was giddy and nervous. And life happens, whether you like it or not, and my own sabbatical came at a really good time. The week I was supposed to leave that job, my dad unexpectedly passed. But having chosen myself and taken the time off turned out to be healing in more ways than just pursuing a passion. I gave myself the gift of time off to heal emotionally as well. Stepping off the hamster wheel of corporate life is hard. You're on a well-trodden path, a comfortable path, one that has relative security and benefits. Leaving medical benefits and a matched 401k was daunting. But I was feeling like life was passing me by. I was tired, and I really needed a change. That hustle culture of like 9 to 5, and then you do your fun stuff from 5 to 9 was just not working. I needed to be honest with myself, so I quit, like I said, which is very unlike me. I told myself I needed 6 months to do art. After 6 months, I'd look for a new job in brand strategy. Heck, maybe I'd crawl back to my boss and ask if they needed a contractor on the team. I'd actually primed her for that conversation, being the planner I was. All I knew was I needed to do the sabbatical I had planned, and after that, I would figure it out. So that's what I did. 6 months passed, and I had surprising momentum. I participated in a printing workshop, printed at larger scales. I was making bigger editions. I was printing more. I got commissions. Then 6 months became a year, and it has steadily grown since. And 2 years in, here I am. Thank you. Find your spark. Backing up a little bit now. When I moved to Alexandria in 2021, I felt it was time to get out of my cozy COVID bubble, I'm sure you had yours too, and meet people. One of my first thoughts was to sign up for an art class. Art was my thing, remember? And I figured it would be a great venue, an opportunity to meet new folks. I found the Art League, which, by the way, if you aren't familiar, is in Alexandria and has incredible classes in a variety of disciplines. I looked through their catalog and felt compelled to take a class outside of my usual mediums. Mostly, though, I was interested in finding a class where we met in person. And it had to be a practice that was centered around participating in a communal space. Watercolors intrigued me, but ultimately I realized you're likely just standing behind your own easel. There isn't too much interaction between students. So I chose printmaking, kind of on a lark. The class met on Wednesday evenings once a week, and the class was just what I'd hoped for. It was communal. We gathered around printing presses to print. The class and medium lent themselves to chatting while you sketched and carved, and the work tables we were at, you were all facing each other. I got lucky in a lot of ways. I was hooked. I had a great teacher who fostered community and passion in the classroom, so I kept taking classes. It stuck, and I felt like I flourished. Taking an art class felt like being back in high school in that independent study. And I also liked sharing the work I was doing. Printmaking lends itself to making multiples. My prints became gifts, holiday cards, Instagram posts. I was delighted to share my work. I want to pause to say that I'm really proud of myself. I don't think we do that enough in our day-to-day. Thank you. I'm proud of myself for trying something new, for listening to my intuition and taking an art class, remembering my thing. At the time, I was working remotely, and with this class, I felt like the people in the room were my new coworkers of sorts. Weekly anchors to say hello to and check in on. I don't think we value enough of that in our lives, that informal check-in with folks, asking how their weekend was. It makes a big difference in your life. Beyond the art, though, I was creating a community that filled my cup immensely. Doing art regularly was something I clung to as I was navigating change. It also reignited a spark within me, one I didn't know I was missing. Trust your gift. So like I said, I quit my job, and in doing so, I shed a corporate title, an identity that was comfortable and relatable. I remember fearing how I would introduce myself to people when I quit my job. The transition from doing art to calling myself an artist was tough for me. Shedding that corporate skin was weird. I felt like I was introducing a new person when I told others what I did for a living. It took a long time to get used to. In my head, I reckoned it to being a capital A artist versus a lowercase a. I was really afraid of the title. I think it came down to the difference between being an artist and being artistic. I don't just make art sometimes. I'm an artist. This is what I do. This is what I am. I'm a chronic overthinker, and I felt so exposed saying that. I was an artist. Being an artist means that you're judged for yourself. I am what I make. I'm no longer defined by a job that is outside of me, but instead by what I produce from my own ideas. There's nobody out there to lean on, hide behind, or to blame. It took a while to trust myself and be comfortable with owning that. It's still really vulnerable for me at times, but each time I introduce myself and say that I'm an artist, I realize I can say it with a little bit more confidence than before, and boy, does that feel good. Do the thing, do it again, do it some more, rinse and repeat. I'll pause here to say that when I was asked to give this talk, I admit I was terrified. Who? Me? Why me? I've been doing this for just 2 years full time. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I know what I like to do, but I'm not following a guidebook. There's no career ladder. I didn't go to art school, but I make my own goals. Most of my income comes from selling my work at booths at arts and crafts festivals, lugging bins and tablecloths and a tent. That is not someone who is glamorously thriving. But maybe that's a benefit. Maybe the place I'm at means my talk today is a little bit more relatable to someone here. If I could convince one person to start, I'd be elated. I don't mean quit your job and throw everything else out the window to be a full-time artist. That would be disingenuous and really unrealistic. I mean, start a new hobby. Start going for daily walks. Start scrapbooking. Start whatever makes you happy. But mostly do something that pushes yourself a little further. I hope being here is evidence that you can and should bring your thing, your side thing, to the forefront, or at least a little bit less off to the side. Life is too short and too precious to only do the things that weigh us down. So start, restart, find the things that make life feel lighter and keep doing them. I'm not speaking to you as an artist who has it figured out. I don't have sold out shows. I only recently joined an artist studio 2 months ago. Up until then, I was working in my unfinished basement where it's actually 55 degrees down there in the winter. Don't get me wrong, it's incredible. I have devoted space in my home to do artwork, but it's damn cold down there. And it's not glamorous. And yes, I have a stack of stained sweatshirts to put on when I go downstairs in the winter. But I also have a gorgeous old teacher's work desk in a room upstairs. It's sunny and it's lovely, and I look forward to working at that desk. And last year I turned a profit. A measly one, but still a profit. Thank you. And most importantly, I'm engaged in my work. Not just the art part, but everything that surrounds it. Photographing my work, pitching or building a website, learning about SEO, writing newsletters, pitching myself. It's a lot, but it's engaging in ways I find surprisingly thrilling. Plus, each day there are glimmers that I can continue to do this full time. I'm building something. And it all started because I got out of my own way and took a chance. Started, took a chance, and kept going. Or to extend the workspace metaphors, I took some art supplies, kept them out, took up more space, commandeered a corner of my basement. Thank you, Nathan. And a second area upstairs. I took up more of my house and my life with art. Plug into a community. I feel lucky. Printmaking is usually a communal activity and seems to attract pretty rad people. Presses are expensive, heavy, and costly to maintain, so you often print together. Like I said, I got to meet people in classes, and when I found people I liked, I made new friends. Some of them are here today. I asked people for coffee. It felt like dating. Dang, it's hard to be in a new place and meet new people. I was starting over in a lot of ways, but the community I found and created has made my life so much brighter and happier. This is me in a printing workshop I did at Pyramid Atlantic. It's called Big Ink. It's really fun. A few of my printmaking friends and I started an artist's book club. For about a year, we would read a chapter of a book that helped guide you through thinking about making art for a living. We talked about our art, we talked about our goals. I made goals and I told people what I wanted to do. It was exhilarating and it made it so much more real. I've raised my hand in new communities. For example, for the past 2 years, I volunteered my time in art to be part of Pyramid Atlantic's fundraising letterpress calendar. These are 2 of the years I've done. In volunteering, I learned how to use their letterpress machines, and I got plugged further into their community of printmakers. In fact, Hannah was one of the fellow printmakers for the 2026 calendar, and she is the reason why I'm here today. Thank you, Hannah.
One of our volunteers.
My printmaking friends were also my support and validation during that period of planning for my sabbatical. They were also my cheerleaders when I told them I intended to take the sabbatical anyway after it was rescinded. Being comfortable telling people my ambitions has been a big catapult for my growth. After you know what you want to do, telling people, even if it's a tight-knit group of people, means it's a little bit more real. Being in a supportive community means you'll get cheerleaders, you'll have accountability partners, and you'll have new coworkers. I'm finding it fun to work for myself, even plugging and pitching myself. no longer plugging or pitching someone or something else. Take it from me, someone whose first job was in PR, where I had to pitch stories to the press. I know I wasn't very good at that job. So taking my own advice, I'm taking this opportunity to be with this community. I'm going to be extra vulnerable and share my 6 goals I made for myself this year. Some I'm proud to say I've accomplished, some are in progress, others feel so lofty I'm embarrassed to say them, but here goes. One second. All right, this is my list of goals for myself for 2026. I put this together and I posted it in January on my Instagram, but I haven't, talked much about it since then. The first was to have a solo show. Check. I got to showcase my artwork in a solo show in the Made in Virginia shop in Old Town this January. The second, second is collaborate or partner or be in the same room as the Finnish design house Marimekko. This is one of those complete long shots. Maybe someone out there, though, works at the Finnish embassy or knows someone who does. This one feels big. Marimekko is a huge inspiration for me, and to know me is to know that I've long loved Marimekko. If you're not familiar, please Google them. They're known for their bright colors, delicious, bold patterns, and have a rich and storied history as a very female-forward company. I had a Marimekko pencil case in middle school, and I lugged my textbooks around in a Marimekko tote in high school. It's a big part of me. Place my artwork on a consumable good. As much as we don't want to admit it, we judge books by their covers and wine by their labels. I want my artwork to help sell someone else's work. How cool would that be? My husband was very quick to point out that while I don't have anything on a consumable good, someone did ask to buy some of my artwork so that they could get it tattooed on their body. And that happened like 2 weeks ago, and I'm still in shock that someone permanently has my artwork on their body forever. So yeah, if it's on a consumable good, like that one, we can maybe check off anyway. Create a print calendar for 2027. I've been toying with this idea for a while, and I think I'm finally making it happen. As an aside, one of my biggest grievances with calendars is you buy them for the artwork, but then at the end of the year, you don't get to do anything with the artwork unless you cut it out and collage it and scrapbook it. But my idea, and it's gonna happen, is at the end of the month, it's gonna be perforated, and then you get to keep the artwork at the top, and it's gonna be postcards. So, if you're interested, get me your email. I'll take pre-orders. I found a local letterpress shop that will do perforations for me. So, we're moving, we're grooving. Have my artwork on USPS stamps. Another lofty but extremely fun goal. Again, goals don't happen if you don't tell them you want them to happen. Mostly because USPS is underappreciated. Postal workers are unsung heroes, and they delight you with a smile every day, and if they don't, it's because someone was unnecessarily rude to them. They're gods. Also, postage stamps are art, and I think the USPS does a great job of curating art on postage. I want to be a part of it. And finally, make more art. I've got that covered. Been making a lot of art. It's been amazing. Working for myself, by myself, means a lot of hustling, a lot of doing my own PR, which is sometimes still very uncomfortable for me. I'm sweating. But every day I try, and every day I feel a little less cringy about it. Throughout this journey, I've learned that being part of a community is wonderful. You're not doing this on your own. You also get to help people too. It's a mutual thing. And being able to be there as a cheerleader for my fellow artists and printmakers has been just as joyous as my own growth. Finally, you are the sum of your experiences. As I've been on this journey through change, I've learned that I am the sum of my experiences. There's nothing wrong with a circuitous journey. You may start off on the wrong path, heck, you inevitably will. But in doing so, you'll learn it's the wrong path, and you'll collect knowledge that you will carry forward with you. In my past career, I did brand strategy. That helped inform how I think about my own branding. Before that, I did some content marketing, and before that, public relations. All really interesting, all not quite the right fit for me. But very handy when launching my own business, because that's what being an artist is. You're being your own business person. Honestly, sadly, the art part is only like a quarter of what I get to do, at least now. I wish I could make art all day. Someday I may get there. Until then, I'm also responsible for selling my art. That means photographing it, posting it on social media, creating a narrative, making my own logo, honing an aesthetic, sending emails. So many emails. By the way, the emails don't go away, but the back-to-back Zoom meetings do. So, quit your job. These things would have been a heck of a lot harder had I not had 10 years of experience to boost me, 10, unrelated years of experience. All to say, you can start something at any time. Your past life informs your present. So start and just have fun. That's kind of the point. Just make something, make anything, keep making, change it up. I think that's the true essence of thriving. Thank you.
That was absolutely lovely. We have a little bit of time for Q&A. We're going to do stand and deliver because we don't have a pass mic. And you can repeat the question into the mic.
Sure.
That'll pick it up on the video.
Yes, hi.
Hi, I'm Mary. I'll stand so I can. Wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Very inspiring. A lot of what you spoke on resonated with me personally.
Thank you.
My question for you is, would you be interested in possibly designing bookmarks?
Absolutely.
I'm an author. Indebted. And all throughout this year, I'm like, you need a bookmark, you need a bookmark, you need to find a person to collaborate with artistically. So would that be something you're interested in speaking about?
Yeah, absolutely. This lovely woman asked if I would make a bookmark for her upcoming book, and the answer is yes. So, thank you. Hi, in the back.
So this talk was particularly relevant for me, seeing as I quit my corporate job in branding in February, being an artist. My question for you is, how did you, I feel overwhelmed sometimes when I look at artists that I'm inspired by and they have, 200,000 followers already and they're already doing the thing.
Yep.
How did you deal with the failure to start? How do you
Yep.
or can you give any advice to others in the crowd that are creatives that are just so intimidated by those that are already successful, but there's that middle in between that you're
Yeah.
trying to get to before that part comes?
Yeah.
Can you speak to that and how you navigate that?
Sure.
Or how you are navigating it?
Thank you. So the question was, how do you get over the intimidation factor, the you see what you want to be, but you're not quite there yet? It's a really great question. To be honest, at the very beginning, I thought that not having an audience might actually be to my benefit. Just do it. There are 5 people who are going to like it on Instagram. Cool. Less pressure. More room for you to try and figure it out. But mostly, I think when I realized that I wanted to do this, a lot of that pressure fell away, and I'm just okay, I'm gonna do it. What does it matter? I don't have 200,000 followers, or 200,000 people buying my art, but that person at one point didn't either. I don't know if that's a glamorous answer, but I just try and show up and keep doing it and documenting it. And I think that that's happening more naturally because I'm liking what I'm doing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm also a recovering brand strategist.
Oh my God.
And I also just hit the 2-year mark of my creative business. So I would love
Congratulations.
to chat with you afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my question is, one of the things I still struggle with, and struggled with mightily right after I quit was daily structure.
Yeah.
So you go from a corporate world where everyone's telling you what to do all the time, and you have this long laundry list of to-dos that
Yeah.
you have to somehow figure out how to do, to, I have to do this, I have to figure out what I need to do myself.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious how you manage.
Yeah. I think a little bit counterintuitively, I don't really have a structure to my day, and I think you have to find your own schedule that works for you. What really works for me is having goals. And you saw the goals that I posted for like long term, but then I kind of work backwards and think like, okay, I have a market in 2 weeks. What do I need to keep doing for that? And I set myself assignments for the day, for the week, to reach those goals. And that's worked really well for me. And it's also helped keep it more interesting. Like I don't sign on and be like, okay, Monday's email day, Tuesday's whatever. But like having micro goals has helped me. And it also like makes it feel less taxing and big. And it also means that I allow myself the opportunity to do what I want to do somewhat within reason. Like I know I'm working towards a goal of like having a body of work finished. That means I know I need to create it by a certain time. But as long as I'm marching towards that, like I don't care if I spend the morning in the studio or doing emails related to the thing. Like I'm marching towards a goal and that goal has a date and I know I'm going to meet that date. That has been more freeing than the back-to-back Zoom meetings and the like tasks and whatever. I don't know if I would recommend it to everyone. It's just how it works in my brain for me.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Susan. And thank you to Hannah, whose face you saw on the wall earlier. Hannah is our designer extraordinaire, so responsible for our lovely slides and our newsletter and all the comms things. Guys, I'm not a comms person, okay? And since I have the mic, I will embarrass Hannah a little bit. She's also a competitive figure skater. Did I say that correctly? Competitive figure skater. So I say that really because this room is full of interesting, lovely, weird people. You guys know I'm a cosplayer, and weird is my game, okay? So please, please take the opportunity to continue mingling and getting to know each other. This community is beautiful and expansive. Thank you so much, Susan, for sharing your creativity with us, these beautiful slides, and also your journey of thriving through change. I just realized I'm dropping this on the team because I only talked to one person about this. So sorry, team. I normally don't do this. But I think that thriving through change is a good moment for us to think about the future. So I have been the host of our lovely DC chapter for 2 years. Come November, which will be our last meeting for this year because we take December and January off. That will be my last time up here on the mic as host. I am going to be rolling off. But our chapter has been going strong since 2013. A 2-year commitment is pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? Normal. Thank you. Normal. Just normal. Joel started our chapter. And stayed as host for 8 years. None of us are doing that. Okay. So this is my little announcement that I love our community. I will continue to love our community. I've been a member since 2013. I'm not going anywhere, but I will not be on the mic come next year. What else am I supposed to do to wrap us up? We will do our moment of silence, yes. Do we have announcements today? See? This is why it's time. We will be here next month. We will announce our speaker and theme the first Monday of the month, so that's coming. We do know what those things are, but we want you to be, have that surprise moment when you get your email, but we will be here. Yeah, I think that's it we have for announcements. Okay, so with that, we are going to do our moment of silence together. Give me one moment. And if you're new, why do we do this? This weird cultish thing at the end of our at the end of our talks. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So the Goethe Institute, lovely, lovely people. We love being here. Their offices are actually closed on Fridays. They open this just for us. So we are going to respect the time at the end. We can mingle for a bit, but we do want to be out of here by 10:30 to respect their time. That was the announcement I wanted to make. Okay, why do we do this weird thing at the end of our program? Because our lives are oversaturated with digital nonsense and noise and blinking lights and all of the things. And how rare is it to be in a moment with a community of creative people, of weirdos, of new friends, and be able to just breathe together. So that's why we do this. I'm going to give us 1 minute, starting now. Okay, that is 1 minute. Does it feel longer or shorter than you think it is? Shorter? Yes. So it always feels weird, actually, to feel a quiet, full minute. Last little bit of reflection before we go. Thank you again, Susan. This was beautiful. The thriving through change, the thrive part. I also was a lucky young toddler that I had encouraging parents that put all of my embarrassing art up on the walls. And if you've seen my talk before, I am a mom and I'm raising a little artist, and I put all of her art up on the walls. I want us to leave today thinking about that thriving part, the people in our lives that encourage us to thrive, and the person that you can be in someone's life to help them thrive in their creativity. That's the part that I want us to walk out with today. So thank you for being here with us. And we will see you next time.